So, you've decided to start your own business and sell a particular service or product, and now you're wondering, where do I start? The very first thing you should start with is doing some market research. This not only answers some basic questions about if there will be any demand for your products or services, but it helps you answer some other very basic questions about your new venture, including potential revenue. The reason this is important is that if potential revenue is not sufficient, you may need to tweak the idea or give up on it entirely. The first question it will obviously answer is, will there be a market for my business? If there is, what does my average customer look like? These demographics of who, based on such qualities of age, sex, income level and other variables, will become invaluable when you decide to start marketing or advertising to reach your ideal market. For example, if through your research you find out your typical customer is a 20 to 30-something female, you're not going to waste money and time advertising in media that appeals to older clientele. Another important part of your market research is identifying potential competitors. There is a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, you want to make sure the market isn't already fully served, leaving very little market share for you. If there isn't any market left for you, then there is really no point in trying to get into an overserved marketplace. The second most important reason to research your competitors is to determine why they attract the customers they do. What is it that makes them unique to customers? Is it their product or service selection, location, pricing? In turn, it will help you answer a very important question. What makes my business unique? Why should customers buy from me? Don't forget to include online services as a competitor. Finally, it is important to study market trends. You need to understand where the industry you are thinking of getting into is headed. Is it expanding or contracting? Okay, so how do you start to research? There are two separate research methods, and you will need to use both to get a full picture of your potential market. They are primary research and secondary research. We're going to start with secondary research. Simply put, secondary research involves using research or studies that have already been compiled by others. The first place to start would be your local library. They may have studies and some demographic information, such as past Financial Post booklets on demographics. The next place you can visit is Square One. They may have market research reports available to help you determine potential market size. Statistics Canada, the federal government department that collects and analyzes a lot of data, including some demographic studies on the buying habits of Canadians that are broken down by region or industry. For example, they can tell you what a family of 4 typically spends in restaurants on a monthly basis in Saskatchewan. This may be broken down even further by city or town, which helps even more. Some of these studies will cost you a small fee to access. Next would be industry newsletters or magazines. Most industries, such as restaurants and hotels, for example, have industry newsletters that are usually full of industry data, such as supplier information and costs, and user demographics. Don't forget to reach out to colleges or universities, particularly their business schools, to see if they had done any research projects on the business you are thinking of starting. Another great source would be your local Chamber of Commerce. They may have the Stats Canada info or refer you to members in the same industry who may be willing to talk to you. Finally, don't forget about your local community's futures office. They may have some of the data mentioned above or can refer you to offices or other sources that we haven't mentioned. Primary research tends to be more time-consuming and requires some creativity on behalf of the researcher. This is where you become the researcher, coming up with your own questions, figuring out who to ask and how to ask them. The next video will be on primary research.